Okay, this is the inside of my swivel hub. That's where the swivel hub bearings go. That's where the drive shaft goes through. And this bit in here is where the seal that seals onto the ball joint goes. This is the ball joint, which the seal seals up against. And that's the CV joint inside. And the drive shaft, or whatever you would want to call that, the axle stub. Alright. This is a diagram of the order that the seals are supposed to go in. It goes support ring on the inside, touching the inside of the armature, and then the grease seal, and then the scraper, followed by the seal guard. Okay. Let's have a bit of a look at the order that they're in. They all seem to have the skinniest part facing inwards. Now this is my replacement seal kit, and they haven't really helped because their pieces are in a completely different order. They've got their metal ring, then they've got their scraper ring, and then they've got their grease seal. That's not the order that they're in the diagram, so that's a little bit unhelpful. And over here we have the original seal, which I believe is in the order that it came out in. You've got your metal, your rubber, your plastic. And over here is the matching pair from the original, I believe it's a Terrain Tamer brand kit from the last time this job was done. I didn't actually do it myself last time. So that's the spare part from that kit, because it came as a full kit and I only did one side because only one was leaking. Okay, then we've got over here the matching pair out of the other kit, which I'll just have a quick flick of the brand of. Hold on. Okay, so whatever this is, that's the brand, 4x4 repair kit. I'm pretty sure that it mostly had the KO bearings in it. That's completely irrelevant. A whole heap of irrelevant stuff in there. So yeah, I sort of mashed two kits together. So I had a full kit, which I had a wheel bearing issue and used some of the wheel bearings and didn't end up doing the swivel hubs at the time. And then I've got the original Terrain Tamer kit, which I did everything with at the time on one side and had a whole complete side left over. Now, so this seal doesn't sit very well when you put it the right way. This scraper does not sit very well in that hole when it's in the order that it's meant to be. Now I don't know whether it's meant to sit funny when it's got no pressure on it, and that once it's all forced into place maybe it bulges up and it's maybe meant to be how it sits, but what that seems to lead to is distortion on the inner flange, as you might or might not be able to see in the film, but just take my word for it. The inner lip of this is all distorted of that scraper. Hello Ashy. So my question to you, internet, is should I put this scraper in the way that seems right, or should I put it in the way that looks right on the diagram even though it doesn't fit in very well? That is my question to you, internet. Okay, so I've got a Nissan Patrol ball joint, or swivel hub seal that we're looking at the moment. The order goes scraper, grease seal, support ring. Scraper and support ring are shown there. I'll actually show the grease seal in this one, but then they've got this diagram, sun, there. I'll hold it still for a bit. So that's the junction there of the three bits of seal. I don't know why they've chosen to not shade that slightly differently, but kind of makes it a bit confusing in there where exactly that finishes. But it seems as though my last seal was put in the wrong order, slightly the right order, but with the scraper installed backwards. So if you just have a look at this, it's here where the scraper is all bunched up in there. It's like it's been compressed too much, and I think that that is because it was installed in backwards. Now if you have a look at this one, This is the recently stuffed one. When you put the seal in this way, it actually fits in pretty well into the outside perimeter, but sorry, I'm probably pointing that on nowhere to be seen. So this bit here, this little lip here, seems to, when it's this way over, seems to not really let it fit all the way in unless you squash the buggery out of it, which is what's happened here. So I don't know whether it was actually meant to go in this way. This seems more like it fits better when it's that way. It just seems to fit in a bit better. It doesn't seem like it's being squashed in. So this one here was installed as is when I got to it. And we've got, trying to get the end section there. It's very difficult to film, but you can sort of see there. That's the end section when it's been laid in that way. And then we've got our metal scraper. Okay, so I just wanted to get some feedback about whether that is the correct order. And now over here, you'll see I've actually bolted it in to the back of the business. And it seems to fit quite well in there. But I'm just not quite sure whether I'm reading the diagram correctly or not. So this is installed with the metal scraper, then the grease seal, and then the plastic scraper, or the metal support ring rather, on the inside. Then the grease seal, which is rubber, and then there's this harder plastic, what they're calling a scraper. And I just want to know if it's supposed to be flipped over so that it fits in neatly and appears to sit all nicely, or whether it's meant to be the other way up where it looks like it gets squashed to buggery. So the bearing cap, the grease seal and the seal guard. So the bearing cap's really nothing to do with what we're looking at. And then down here you have the scraper, which is plastic, and the support ring, which is metal, and they sandwich the grease seal. Now I've got some different seals here to look at. The new one in a kit, and the order's completely jumbled up in the kit. So you've got the metal ring, then you've got a ballistic scraper, and then you've got the grease seal. So that's not in the order that it's supposed to be, so I can't really get much help from that. Then over here we've got the seal that came out of the car, and it seems to be in the correct order. Seems to be as per the diagram. It is a bit crinkled up in there. It's hard to see in the video, but take my word for it. The inner part of the scraper seems to be all crinkled up, as if it's been over compressed. Now over here, I put this in backwards. I actually put this into the metal edge on the outer face like this, and I bolted it all up, and I've slightly bent those a bit, and I've had to straighten them back up. So I stuffed that. Now, that's not really all that relevant. What is relevant is this one, which is the new seal. It's a matching pair to the one in the packet. And it seems slightly different to this, in that I can't get this edge to... Alrighty, hello fellow patrol owners. I've got some seals here that I'm trying to work out, and a cup of tea. So this is the original seal that we've got over here. That came out of it. Something didn't quite seem right with that, and we'll get to that in a second. That's a new one out of a packet from a kit. This over here is its matching buddy, which has just been opened and slightly played with but not damaged. And this one over here, I believe, is the twin buddy from this one, from a spare kit, which when I had a mechanic pop this one in, this is, I think, the one that was left over from the kit, because I only did one side and I had a whole kit and I kept them. Now, they do seem a tiny little bit different between this kit and this kit. The difference is that this seal on here doesn't seem to fit. It's a bit hard to show, but when you look at the side profile, I'll just flick that bit out of the way. Look at the side profile there. I don't know if you can see, but it does not quite want to fit all the way up to that outer edge as well as it does when you flip it over and pop it in. Okay, now I'm wondering whether these ones were installed incorrectly, because I put this one in completely wrong. I actually put the metal frame and everything in completely backwards, so I stuffed it. But a similar thing's happened to this one as what's happened to this one. Now, a mate of mine actually pulled this off the back with me, and I wasn't witness to the exact order, but I believe that they haven't been jumbled, and that's got a lot of scunge around it. I'm hoping that's from just, I don't know, somehow it's magically accumulated on the inside and that it wasn't in backwards in the first place. But the diagram over here, which I can't see very well because it's too glary, shows the order that things are to go in. I'll put a photo of that up, and I know you've all probably got access to it anyway, because I got it off all 4x4. But the way that these go in doesn't seem to correspond with the way that seems like looks right on my new seal. It just doesn't quite. My seal won't fit in this, like this. The plastic scraper needs to be flipped over in order for it to go all come together well. So I just want a bit of advice on that. I probably mumbled a bit too much in this, so I might start this film again and we'll try again. Okay, interesting, the plot thickens. So there seems to be wear marks on this original one on the inside of there. I don't know if you can see that, but that little bit there on that very inside edge, that chamfered bit there, is actually a wear mark. On the inner edge of that, which implies to me, with a bit of extra evidence, being a lot of dirt and scunge, and it looks to me like the exterior of the car type scunge there suggests that that seal may have in fact been installed in reverse. There's a lot of scunge built up on the inside of there that's got a lot of dirt in it too. So it suggests to me that this has been installed backwards. Can anybody back me up on that by the look of that piece there? Let's start with that. And then we'll go back over to here and have a look at whether I'm doing this right. So I've got the order of events being that the metal support ring goes in first into the housing. I know this goes onto the car first. Don't worry. I'm just getting the order right and looking at it. So, support ring goes into the housing first, then the grease seal, and then what's known as the scraper, which is the plasticky, harder piece of rubbery looking stuff with a split in it. So, stop me if I'm wrong, but that's the order that they go in. Now, the bit I'm having issues with is that I feel as though this last seal is either slightly different to the original one in that it seems to be designed to fit in the other way, or whether it's meant to have almost a centimetre of overlap once it fits in flush at the... It's very hard to show, but if I push that all the way up in so that it actually fits flush with it without lifting up on this edge, there's a full centimetre of overlap when they come together instead of it fitting flush. Whereas if I spin it around this way and put it in what is allegedly backwards according to the diagram, it fits in quite neatly, and it doesn't have any dramas going in, and there's no overlap, and it fits all the way to the very outer edge, and it fits in, and then this thing can clamp over it without any drama, which I've done already and undone. So I'm in a bit of a conundrum because I'm getting different information from different places and I don't know what to believe, and I think that the original job was done wrong, so you can't even really use that as a good reference. And I wasn't the one that pulled that off the car, my mate Jake was, and I'm not sure whether he'll even remember which way around it was. So we're sort of in a bit of a conundrum.